The champagne flute trembled between my fingers, not from the weight, but from the silence that followed her whisper. "Don't worry," my sister said, brushing invisible dust from her wedding dress. "The main event is about to begin." Then she winked. The music outside bled through the curtains, slow, romantic, deliberate. Guests laughed, unaware that the bride's perfume carried the scent of calculation, not innocence. I stood beside her, my pulse steady, my mind anything but. I thought she was nervous. A bride always is. But her eyes, they weren't anxious. They were expectant. Then the phone buzzed in my pocket. A video, no caption, just a trembling image of two figures in a dimly lit room, half-dressed, tangled in motion. Her hair unmistakable. His voice low, too familiar. My wife. My brother-in-law. The best man. The laughter outside seemed to warp, twisting around me like an echo from another world. I watched in silence until the screen went black. When I looked up, my sister was still smiling. And that's when I realized. She already knew. The vows echoed through the hall. "I do," she said. My wife, standing beside me among the bridesmaids, lips curved in perfect symmetry, eyes glancing briefly, too briefly, toward the groom's side. My brother-in-law avoided her gaze. He was sweating under the lights. The crowd clapped. Cameras flashed. Love filled the room like cheap perfume, strong enough to choke on. I didn't clap. I smiled instead. That's what people do when their world cracks. They perform. Through the corner of my eye, I caught movement. A hand brushing against another in the shadows near the catering table. Subtle, quick, but I'd seen that touch before. The same touch that once reached for me in the dark. The same lips that whispered promises she never meant to keep. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was quiet, measured, hidden under the veil of celebration. Later, when she leaned in to adjust my tie, her voice soft, breath steady, she asked, "You okay?" I nodded. "Just watching." "Watching what?" "The show." She smiled, unaware of the meaning. But my sister caught it. She was standing nearby, bouquet in hand, eyes locked on me. For a moment, it felt like she was watching me more closely than the groom. The night unfolded like a performance neither of them realized I was directing. While the guests danced, I slipped away, not to brood, but to observe. I'd noticed the little things before. The late messages, the shared jokes that excluded me, the way her phone turned face down whenever I entered the room. Tonight, I wanted confirmation. In the coat room, I checked her phone. Password changed. In his jacket pocket, a folded note. Room 209. 10 minutes. My pulse didn't rise. My breath didn't quicken. Instead, I felt something colder settle inside me. A precise calm. Outside, I heard laughter. My sister's laughter. She was radiant, the perfect bride. But when her eyes found mine across the crowd, her expression shifted. Barely a flicker. Understanding. She knew what I'd seen. At 9:14 p.m., I saw them slip upstairs together. I didn't follow. Not immediately. I waited. Let them build their illusion of secrecy. Let the betrayal mature. The dance floor spun with oblivious guests while I counted seconds. When I finally climbed the stairs, the corridor was empty, except for a faint sound behind the door. Room 209. The sound wasn't passion. It was greed disguised as affection. I didn't knock. I didn't need to. I'd already seen everything I needed to. Through the small gap in the curtain, I saw them. My wife's hands tracing the same path she used to draw down my chest. My brother-in-law's mouth on her shoulder. I closed the door quietly, returned to the reception, and smiled. By morning, the evidence was secure. The video sent to me wasn't random. It came from the hotel's security system. Someone had tipped them off. Someone wanted me to know. My sister. At breakfast, she sat across from me, veil gone, makeup wiped clean, her face softer, honest in its exhaustion. "You saw it," she said. "It wasn't a question." "Yes, they deserved it," she whispered. "You, at least, should know the truth before everyone else does." I studied her, calm, controlled. "Why now?" "Because," she said, lifting her coffee cup, "the main event is starting today." By noon, the video spread, not by accident, by design. She'd sent it to everyone, family, guests, colleagues. The bride exposing the best man, the groom's brother, the groom's wife. A scandal dressed in white. My wife found me in the hallway, tears already forming before I spoke. "How could you let this happen?" she said, voice trembling. "I didn't let it happen," I said. "You did." And then I walked past her. Evening came, and with it, the reception's second act. The crowd was smaller now, the whispers louder. She stood alone near the exit, mascara smudged, hair undone. My brother-in-law had already disappeared. I approached her slowly, each step deliberate, like the pacing of a closing scene. "You should go," she said, not meeting my eyes. I stopped inches away. "No, you should." She turned then, searching for anger in me, but found none, only the reflection of her own ruin. "I loved you," she said. "No," I whispered. "You loved being loved." Her face broke, just slightly, enough. I slipped my ring from my finger and placed it on the table beside her. Keep it, a souvenir from the performance. Behind her, my sister watched from the doorway. No smile this time, just silent acknowledgement. The show was over. I left before the music stopped. Outside, the night was still. The air tasted of rain and endings. I walked toward the parking lot, my shadow stretching long across the wet pavement. Somewhere behind me, she called my name. I didn't turn. There was nothing left to say. The truth had done what it always does, burn quietly until only ash remains. My sister's wedding became a funeral of illusions. Hers, mine, theirs. But as I reached my car, I finally understood her words from that morning. "Don't worry, the main event is about to begin." She wasn't talking about the wedding. She was talking about freedom. And I smiled, for the first time that night. Because sometimes the only way to start over is to let the world burn first.